see a movie later?
Well...
Or maybe you can go to my house and I'll show you my new video game and we can play some basketball.
Yeah, I can't. I have homework. It's about genes.
Why would you be learning about blue jeans?
Not these genes, these genes.
Stop it.
Are you guys talking about DNA?
What's DNA?
It's something inside of you. That's what the teacher said.
It was that swirly, twisty thing you saw a picture of at the museum.
You know, with all the colors in it.
Where?
You can't see them. They're really small.
Well, I have to go to the U2 Wellness Center to see my Aunt Chrissy. She works in the lab.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. It's pretty cool.
Well, I'll see our guys later.
See ya.
Bye.
Come on, you guys. Let's go to my house.
Okay.
Bye, Tasha.
See ya.
Bye.
Hello, I'm Tasha. I'm here to see my Aunt Chrissy. She said I could come after school.
Okay, she's expecting you. 1 moment. Hi, Christina. This is Norma. Your niece Tasha's here to see you. Okay, I'll let her know. She'll be right with you.
Thank you.
Hi, Tasha. How was school?
Hi, Chrissy. It's great. I like my teacher this year. Thanks for helping with my homework.
I will always help my favorite niece. What are you studying?
Genes and DNA or something like that, but I don't get it. This place is awesome.
Well, if you're studying genes, then you came to the right place, because a lot of what we do here is genetic mapping.
Genetic what?
We try to find out the way things in our bodies work and why, because the more we know about DNA, the more we can help people get well when they're sick. Why don't you show me your assignment?
Okay. Well, I'm supposed to put this puzzle together, but I don't know how.
Let's see. Well, the first thing I can tell you is that this might look very complicated, but if you understand each little piece, then it will help you in putting the puzzle together, because that's what genes and DNA are, a big puzzle. Because every living thing is made up of DNA.
That's what my teacher said. How does it work?
Well, maybe if you take a look at it, it would help you understand.
Okay.
Tasha, this is a DNA strand. There are many different pieces of the puzzle, so a good place to start would be, what is genetics? Lately, it seems that genetics is showing up everywhere, in the news, in books, in movies, even in video games. Since there are so many real-life situations that involve genetics, it is important that we understand what genetics, genes, and DNA are. So let's define genetics. Genetics is the study of inheritance of specific traits. Genetics can also be defined as the study of the function and behavior of genes. In other words, genetics is the study of how genes work, what genes do, and how they are passed from parents to children. By studying genetics, people learn about where they come from and what makes them who they are. Many people study genetics to learn about heredity. Heredity is the passing of traits like hair color, eye color, and height from one generation to the next generation through genes. So what are genes? Well, genes are just one of the elements involved in determining who has brown hair or blue eyes. But before we talk about genes, we first need to talk about cells. Cells are the smallest part of all living organisms. Things like roses, bees, ants, bears, people are all living organisms, and cells are the smallest living part of those organisms. Cells are also in viruses that can make you sick with illnesses like colds or the flu. Now, cells are very small, and they carry out various things in order for the organisms, like us, to live. We need to do things like digest food, release energy, grow, expel waste, and reproduce. There are some organisms, like bacteria, that are unicellular. Unicellular means that they consist of only one cell. Most organisms, like plants, birds, dogs, and humans, are multicellular, which means we are made up of many cells working together. The human body consists of about 100 trillion cells. Each of these 100 trillion cells, except for the red blood cells, contain the entire human genome. The human genome is a blueprint of all the genetic information necessary for an organism to be a human being. Now, cells are made up of smaller parts that do specific tasks. These small structures are called organelles. One of these organelles is the nucleus. The nucleus in the cell is a remarkable organelle because it forms the package that stores our genes and their controlling factors. The nucleus has a membrane that encircles chromosomes. Now, chromosomes are microscopic structures in the cell that look like short and stubby X's. Chromosomes are made up of the DNA we talked about earlier. DNA stands for Deoxyribonucleic Acid. Different organisms have different numbers of chromosomes. Chimpanzees have 24 pairs of chromosomes for a total of 48, and mice have 20 pairs for a total of 40 chromosomes. Humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes, so we have a unique set of 46 chromosomes. We get one chromosome in each pair from each of our parents. A picture of the complete set of chromosomes is called a karyotype. If you look at a karyotype, human chromosomes look like flattened X's. Each of the 46 chromosomes is made up of DNA. Now, DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is an extremely long molecule in the shape of a compact coil. We have so much DNA in our bodies that if we laid it out in a straight line, our DNA strands would travel to the moon and back around 13 times.
Whoa, that's far.
DNA is called the double helix because it looks like a ladder that's been twisted. DNA stores all the coded information that determines how a person looks and how their bodies work. So we have cells, chromosomes, and DNA. So let's talk about genes now. DNA segments that contain a complete set of instructions for a trait are called genes. Traits are things like height, weight, hair color, or blood pressure. Because genes determine traits, genes are considered units of heredity. Scientists believe that there are about 30 to 40,000 human genes in every person. Let's look at a karyotype. Notice that the top halves of the chromosomes are shorter than the bottom halves. The short part is called the P arm of the chromosome, and the long part is called the Q arm. Scientists have already identified many genes on chromosome 19. Let's look at one of the Q arms of chromosome 19. This is a close-up of the Q arm of chromosome 19. Notice several sections have been named. If we look at 19q13.2, we would find the ApoE gene. Apolipoprotein E is one of the many genes involved in cholesterol levels. Cholesterol is a waxy substance made by the liver and is also found in meat and dairy products. High cholesterol can lead to heart disease. The ApoE gene is only a small section of DNA that makes up chromosome 19. So, Tasha, what have we learned?
That genetics is the study of inheritance of specific traits or the study of how genes work and what genes do. Cells are the smallest living parts of organisms and are made up of smaller parts called organelles. The nucleus is an important organelle because it encircles chromosomes. And chromosomes are made up of DNA, which is deoxyribonucleic acid.
Deoxyribonucleic acid.
Right, deoxyribonucleic acid. And DNA is called a double helix because it looks like a twisted ladder. And genes are pieces of DNA with instructions for a trait. Genes are considered units of heredity because they determine traits like height, weight, hair color, and blood pressure.
Very good, Tasha. I think you got it. So what do you think of my job?
You have a great job, and what you told me really helps. So I think I need to know more about chromosomes. Are everyone's different?
Yes, that's why you have brown hair and your friend Chris has brown hair.
I think I need to know more about DNA.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you and your friends come by on Wednesday after school, and I'll give you a tour of the lab and show you guys what we're working on.
Really, and Chris, I can't wait to tell them.
Yes, but right now you need to go home and put that DNA puzzle together.
Now that I know what DNA is. Well, see you on Friday. Can't wait to tell them.
Great having you here today.
Bye.
Got it.